In the summer of 1963, the President of the United States at the time, John F. Kennedy, declared at a ceremony that America was the most advanced nation in the world, and to prove it,
We
they would
choose to
send the
go to the
first person
moon.
to the moon and bring them
We
back.
choose to go to the
The
moon.
Apollo
We
program,
choose to go to the
initiated to
moon and
surpass
not
the
to
Soviet
say and
Union,
do the other
was
things.
not the only
Not
project
because
President
they are
Kennedy announced
easy,
that
but
day.
because they are hard.
He also unveiled America's response to Europe's rising civil aviation and the introduction of Concorde, a supersonic passenger aircraft project that would be twice as fast and larger than Concorde. Welcome to Extraordinary Aviation Designs. In this video, we will discuss the story of the Boeing 2707 SST, the supersonic passenger plane America developed to compete with Concorde, the events that took place, and why the project was discontinued. The 1960s were a period of rapid global changes. As the quality of life improved and life became faster, the civil aviation sector also kept pace with this rise. The introduction of jet-powered aircraft replacing propeller-driven planes halved travel times and improved flight quality. This period was also one in which nuclear bombers and passenger aircraft that could travel several times the speed of sound were envisioned. Major airlines awaited the day when supersonic passenger planes would enter the market, while manufacturers began producing projects in this area. However, no one wanted to embark on such a large and costly project alone. As dreams progressed rapidly, France and England, seeking to regain their lost positions in the aviation sector, drew all attention to themselves in 1962 with the Concorde project. At that time, the Soviet Union, which was leading in space exploration, joined this race a few months later with the Tupolev 144. Observing these developments from a distance, the United States began to worry when they realized the work was not just talk. They had almost a monopoly on the civil aircraft sector, and supersonic planes could threaten this position. The last thing the US wanted was for European aircraft manufacturers, weakened after World War II, to catch up with American companies. After hearing that US-based airlines were beginning to show interest in Concorde, Kennedy initiated the National Supersonic Transport Program. Major aircraft manufacturers were asked to design planes that could travel at speeds of Mach 2.2 or Mach 3, carry at least 150 passengers, have long-range capabilities, and operate at costs close to current aircraft. While 5 companies initially showed interest in the project, after lengthy evaluations, Boeing's 733 model, also popularly known as the 2707, was selected to continue. The 2707 was a far more ambitious design compared to Concorde. It was much faster and had a large fuselage with 2 aisles for passengers. Additionally, because passengers would not be able to see outside through the 15-centimeter diameter windows due to the high speed and altitude, there would be in-flight entertainment systems and televisions, which were revolutionary for that time, to keep them occupied. Such a capable and high-capacity aircraft could not be built with classic aviation technologies. The aluminum fuselage and coatings used in planes at that time were not strong enough to withstand the required speeds. While Boeing sought a solution to this problem, they found a previously tested one. The SR-71, an American intelligence aircraft capable of traveling 3 times the speed of sound, had a fuselage made of titanium to prevent problems of overheating and expansion at high speeds. Boeing decided to apply this idea to its aircraft. Boeing also wanted to add other features to the aircraft. The wings of the 2707 model were planned to have variable geometry to ensure stability, especially during takeoff and landing. The wings would open wide during takeoff to help the plane ascend, and then fold into a more aerodynamic position as the plane gained altitude and speed. The 2707 model, appreciated but considered too small by the responsible committees, was transformed into a giant capable of carrying 270 passengers after the requested modifications. Boeing's design following these changes was officially chosen as the winner of the project. Boeing had won the project, but the aircraft design had become massive and risky, with many firsts to be tested. The company working to bring the design to life made many changes to the aircraft. The biggest change was the cancellation of the foldable wing system, which was meant to allow the aircraft to fly more stably at different speeds. The joints and movement mechanisms required to support the massive titanium wings made the plane both too heavy and significantly reduced its performance. As a result, the 2707-300 model, resembling the delta-winged Concorde a bit more, emerged. After promotional events during the project's continuation, the aircraft garnered significant interest. Even though no prototype had been built, 28 airlines had placed orders for 122 planes. Boeing continued its work with these orders. Their plan was to fly the plane in 1970 and deliver the first aircraft to customers by 1974. However, things did not go as planned. As the project progressed, the positive public opinion about supersonic aircraft began to deteriorate. Concerns arose that sonic booms from supersonic planes regularly flying over populated areas would negatively affect life, shattering windows, scaring animals, and even causing pregnant women to miscarry. After a few months of experiments to examine these claims, no evidence was found to suggest that frequent sonic booms would cause miscarriages, but it was proven that many windows were shattered and the sonic booms caused anxiety among people. Additionally, engineering problems encountered during the aircraft's development were still unresolved. The rear-mounted engines shifted the center of gravity backward. Moreover, these engines consumed far more fuel than a regular passenger aircraft, which did not meet the project's requirements. While the titanium fuselage prevented heating issues, using titanium on such a large aircraft and manufacturing the parts proved much more difficult than expected. The final blow to the project came when the U.S. Senate withdrew its support. By the end of the 1960s, the U.S. was dealing with the Vietnam War as well as domestic economic and social problems. In this challenging environment, President Nixon began to cut budgets or cancel projects he deemed unnecessary. He completely removed plans for the continuation of the Apollo program, which had succeeded in landing on the moon, and canceled some scheduled flights in the budget. Similarly, it was decided in 1971 that no further support would be given to the supersonic passenger plane project. Boeing, meanwhile, could not continue such a massive project on its own. In 1973, the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, banned civil supersonic flights within the U.S. With this ban, airlines also canceled their orders. This decision marked the end of the dreams of supersonic passenger planes and Boeing 2707. In the following years, the Russian Tupolev 144 ceased its regular flights. Concorde, on the other hand, continued transatlantic services with a much smaller fleet than planned. With rising fuel prices in the 1970s, the idea of widespread supersonic travel was shelved. Thank you for watching Extraordinary Aviation Designs. If you found this video helpful, please like and share. You can support our channel by clicking the thanks button or subscribing, and don't forget to subscribe to stay updated on our videos about extraordinary designs in aviation history.